Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. I'd just like to shed a few thoughts with the brothers and sisters about something I've seen recently on the news. And that is, people are very quick to label people extremists and people who have excessiveness in the religion or accuse people of being fundamentalists. Now, I see this is very easy when somebody is a Muslim. So you'll find that a Muslim will give his point of view in certain issues such as homosexuality or or polygamy, marrying more than one woman. And people are quick to point fingers at him, and unfortunately even some Muslims are quick to point fingers at him and call him a fundamentalist or an extremist, or point fingers at the sister who has the same sort of opinion. But what I find strange is when secularists enforce their opinions on people, you don't find anyone calling them fundamentalist or extremist secularists. So for example, in France, where the niqab is banned, they don't call this an extreme type of secularism. And to me this doesn't make sense, because if this person is wearing the niqab out of personal free choice, and this is regardless of whether it's from Islam or not, and we do believe that the niqab is from Islam, but this person is wearing the niqab of their own choice, it should be a type of freedom or religious freedom for them to do this. But they're not allowed, and they're not called extreme or fundamentalists. So I find this a type of hypocrisy, and I find it something strange that we can label our brothers and sisters as being extreme and going overboard in the religion and doing things which are against Islam, when in reality some of the things we're accusing them of are actually from Islam. But when the other people who are against Islam do something, they're not labeled as extremists or fundamentalists. So even in the Muslim countries, for example, in some Muslim countries, a woman cannot come onto TV wearing a hijab. It's a crime. It's not allowed. It's forbidden. And nobody stands up and screams that this is extremism or fundamentalism. So, as we know, the news is full of hypocrisy. We don't find on the BBC, on CNN, on Fox News, on these stations, that the people in the Central African Republic are extremists and fundamental Christians killing Muslims and forcing Muslims out of their lands. But when a Muslim says, I believe that homosexuality is haram and homosexuals shouldn't be able to marry even if they're Muslim, he's labeled as someone with extremist views and someone who is demonized in the media. So this leads me to a second point, that this is an advice to the brothers and sisters out there, is that we should be, we shouldn't be so fast in demonizing and accusing the brothers and sisters out there of being extreme or being fundamentalists, when a lot of the information that we're getting about these people is from the news. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, in Surah Al-Hujurat, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا. Oh, you believe, if the fasiq, or the person who is upon disobedience, comes to you with some sort of news, then you should verify it before you believe it. Now, how many of us honestly, when we read something on the BBC, on CNN, on Fox News, on Facebook, on Twitter, actually verify what we're reading before we spread it and start to speak and base our opinions or form opinions based on this piece of news? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbade us to actually believe the news of a Muslim who is disobedient, who has extreme levels of disobedience. It's haram just to believe him. We're not saying that you have to disbelieve what they're saying, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us to verify and check up. So we form a lot of our views, based on what we see on the news, on the TV, and on the internet. So this is just a reminder for the brothers and sisters out there that before we form views about people or groups, individuals, then we should verify what's being told to us. If we can't verify, then we don't have to have an opinion, and we can leave it like that. We don't have to form opinions of people. And this is not just for Muslims. Even if some news about non-Muslims is spread, if it's not verified, then the Muslim is actually told not to believe this news or disbelieve this news, but he's to wait. So my final advice is that we are not forced as Muslims to hold opinions. You don't have to have an opinion on certain issues. You don't have to have an opinion about certain people if the news and the information that you've taken about this person, this group, this individual cannot be verified. So I hope that the point is gotten across there and people try to understand what I'm saying. And I'd like to make one thing clear. I don't mean that there are no fundamentalist Muslims or there are no Muslims who have taken this religion in the wrong way and act with extreme views, and they do actions which are against Islam, which are against humanity. But what I'm saying is, don't jump to conclusions and don't form opinions about people until you've verified the news that has come to you, so that when you do form an opinion, it's based upon ilm, or it's based upon knowledge, and therefore your opinion will be just and fair.